What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade. Basketball analysis coming to y'all with that analysis for Saturday. We gonna talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I'm only adding my 2 cents because people want to know what I think about this particular topic. We gonna talk about Giannis leaving Milwaukee, the place that has a new arena. They have Giannis going crazy, the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, the number one team in the NBA for the last 2 years. They have him leaving Milwaukee to go to Miami. Does that make sense? It does. Because they can add another player. And even though Miami put out the Bucks in 5, Giannis still is one of the best players in the world. He might not be number one to people no more. He might not be number two. But he's still in that top 5, top 7, depending on how you feel about him when it comes to the playoffs. But Giannis is still one of the best defenders. He is a guy that play on both sides of the court. Fantastic rebounder, a matchup problem, obviously now because he plays power forward. And he is a legitimate 6'11", I believe. And he can get to the basket. He's super athletic. And he has high IQ. And he's an unselfish player. I think that's one thing that's good about Giannis, too. He is one of the best players, and he plays hard. But he is one of the smartest players on the court. And he understands the game, and he fits in with that nucleus Miami have. Obviously, the biggest problem that fans don't seem to understand, Giannis isn't a free agent until after next season. So that means if you want Giannis this season, you're going to have to gut that roster because the only way I'm giving up Giannis is if I'm getting a good return. And I tell that to everybody that asks me about the Bucks because I do live in Wisconsin. I live by Milwaukee. That's the biggest problem. Did you see what a lot of these superstars go for? Do you see what Anthony Davis went for? You have an MVP. Did you see where Paul George went and how much they had to give up to get a guy that wasn't even the MVP? And Giannis is younger and still developing and still growing and got better each and every season. Do you know what you would have to give up, Miami fans, if you want Giannis, Antetokounmpo, and Little Liam? You got to give up a lot. And is it worth it? Because people making it seem like, okay, we beat Giannis, he's going to come here for nothing. No, you have to give up a whole lot to get Giannis. And then you would have to fill out the rest of the roster, which Pat Riley wouldn't have a problem with because you have a team with Jimmy Butler and possibly Bam or whoever else they have on this roster because you might want Bam if you is Milwaukee. So that's another thing to consider. And will that fit matter? Because if you trading for Giannis, your whole roster is going to have to be reconstructed to get him. Now, some people say if you the Bucks, you just play it out. You play it out because as long as you have Giannis, you feel like you have a chance to win a title. And even if Giannis leave you for nothing, that's just saying if he don't sign the Supermax this summer. I mean, well, it ain't the summer, this free agency. If he don't sign that Supermax, you do have one guaranteed season with Giannis, and you will be one of the top 5 teams in the NBA, which a lot of people wouldn't give up that opportunity because like we seen with Anthony Davis, if you have a chance to win a title, that one title, especially in Wisconsin, and I'm from Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, you may never get a title again. And we even seen that with Toronto. They took that gamble on Kawhi Leonard, cashed in, and got a title and moved on from him. You will take that 1 year to win a title if the star doesn't want to leave. Now, Giannis can say he wants to stay, but if he don't sign that Supermax, they might keep him anyway and just go for the title, which isn't crazy because one title is better than 0. And Wisconsin hasn't even been to the finals since Kareem. And even then, we only won one title. When he went again, they lost. So we got one title in Milwaukee when it comes to the Bucks. And you don't think that they will do anything to keep Giannis to have an opportunity to win another? Even if he leave, they will. They would definitely do that. And any GM probably would do that unless the man told you that he wants out and he wants to go to Miami. And even then, Miami is not going to get away with an easy load. This is one of the top 5 best players in the world that's still getting better. They're taking majority of this roster with them, and then you can have Giannis. And if you get to that point, then you can talk. Because you have Jimmy Butler, and then you have Giannis, and then you will literally have to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to build this team. Luckily for them, blessingly I should say for them, is that they have Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra has been able to adapt. He has been able to adjust. And he has been able to build systems offensively and defensively, no matter what his talent has been on these rosters. So you have that going for you. And Pat Riley has shown that he can build a championship roster and he can make things happen. And getting Giannis would be a huge step forward, especially if you can get him to stay long term and win multiple champions possibly in the future. So it makes sense that way. But like I said, at the same time, you're going to have to gut your roster, and there's still no guarantee that he's going to resign. And even if he guarantees you have to resign, you will have to find a way to build a championship roster, which they have Pat Riley to do, and he can do that, and he's done shown that. That's the only problem that the Heat will have is losing all the talent to get him this year. And then you had to pay him even more money because of the extension. And then you would just have to rebuild your roster again because Jimmy already is under contract and Giannis will get a bigger contract. So you had to fix your roster up again. So if I'm a Miami Heat fan, I wouldn't complain getting Gallup and Kumpo on my team. And if I'm Jimmy Butler, I love Bam. Y'all went to war together. Y'all played together. But at the same time, you have to give up something if you want Giannis this year. And it does help you give him that 5-year extension if he played a whole year with Miami too. So that gives another sweetener deal to keep Giannis long term for a couple more years because he would get that extra year. So don't forget about that, Miami fan. So at the end of the day, it will be a drastic game-changing trade. It would definitely make a lot of noise, which it should, and that's why it's making noise now. Just the thought of it is just crazy for the people in Miami. Can Jimmy Butler and Giannis coexist? I think they will. I think they can figure that out, and I think that they could play together. We seen it with Chris Middleton. We seen it with Bledsoe and Brogdon. Giannis is a guy that, in a system with Eric Spoelstra and his coaching staff, they're going to figure out how to screen with him, how to help him roll, how to develop his game. He's going to be excellent in transition like he's always been. So I feel like Giannis is one of those players that's unselfish, that understands the game, like I said in the beginning of the video, and he will figure out how to fix that. And Jimmy Butler has shown that he's willing to give up shots. He's willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team, and he's also willing to defend at a high level, and he's not scared of nobody either. Now, having two-way players that's unselfish and are great passers for their position, that's dangerous, especially in the Eric Spoelstra system. So I understand why people will be skeptical about it because they're not known as shooters. But Jimmy and Bam are not great shooters, and they was in the NBA Finals this year. And Giannis is a way better Bam. But I think to be honest, if I'm in the Bucks, I'm definitely taking Bam. There's no way you can have Giannis, Bam, and Jimmy on the same team if I'm the Bucks. I gotta take something like that too, and some other things to get that trade going. To even consider that trade. So that's something that the Heat fans got to be in realistically thinking because there's no way they're going to trade Giannis and take a bunch of scraps. That's not going to happen. And if the Bucks do trade Giannis, I think they'll be fine. They're in the East. It's getting tougher. It's getting top heavy right now. And having Chris Middleton and some other possible pieces that we wouldn't know what they was until the trade would be confirmed. They will have some picks through in there too, possibly, even if they have to do a 3-team trade and ship some of those players to somewhere else and get picks or whatever they will want. The Bucks will still be interesting. They'll still be fun, and they will eventually find some things that can work. It will be a rebuilding, retooling, I should say. You have some pieces that's competitive, and now you're trying to mix and match and get the right pieces to get back to being a contender in the East. It will be a massive collapse in Wisconsin losing Giannis because there's really no replacing a top 5 player. And I don't see Bam becoming one of those guys instantly because you're trading one and you're not getting one back is what I'm saying. The Miami Heat will be getting the best player in the trade, so they will win the trade naturally. But Bam has improved. He has grown if he was in the trade, and they do have some interesting shooters and some interesting players on this roster that you would take back if you're Milwaukee and be pretty happy with, and they can use those in a 3-team trade or another trade and get some more assets back because they have great veterans and young talent on decent, tradable, affordable contracts in Miami. And you will get those getting Giannis because they will have to add up to the salary, plus they will have to give you enough back to make you want to get rid of Giannis unless he asks and tell you he want to go to Miami. Now, to summarize it all up right now, if I'm Giannis, do I want to go to Miami? No, there's better teams that he can go to, so I wouldn't prioritize going to Miami. I don't think if they get Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, and them, that it's a guarantee that they'll win a title either, as there are a lot of great duos already in the league. and there's other duos that have better teammates around them already than Miami. Plus, we will have to see who they will put in with them and how would they play and how they will learn throughout the season, which is another mind trick that you can't figure out because we don't know what will be in the trade and we don't know who they will get to replace those guys. So I think it's interesting. I think it is worth a topic. That's why I made it. And I think the Heat fans will be happy if they got Giannis and Butler. And if they can retain some of their guys and try to fill out the roster, they will be one of the best teams in the league because they already are one. They will be making a step forward, and the Bucks will be going backwards. But the Bucks got to get something. And if Giannis doesn't want to be traded or he doesn't force his way out, I do expect the Bucks to keep him this entire year, let it play out. And at the same time, if you don't want to get traded in the trade deadline either, they're going to go out and see if they can win with Giannis. And if they can, they'll be happy. If they can't, just like we seen with Kawhi, just like we seen with KD and LeBron, you don't trade those guys because they give you the opportunity to even get to the finals, will give you a chance to win the title because you got to get to the finals to do it. So Milwaukee most likely will keep him, and they will most likely try to get him to sign that Supermax. And I don't blame Giannis if he wants to explore. I don't blame Giannis if he want to observe his options and see what's the best fit for him and what's the best team for him, or if he just want to go in a different direction. He played his years. He put in the work. He helped them get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he did marvelous things in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, and across the whole globe. So you got to give him credit, and you have to allow him to get his right to be a free agent. So you offer him the Supermax. If he declines it, play it out, see what happens, and, give him the offer again. And if he goes somewhere else, you just live with that decision. So I think they'd be fine, and it's a tough situation. I always tell people that I know, sometimes you're in a lose-lose. You lose if you don't get the Supermax. You lose if you lose them anyway, and you lose if you don't trade them. So either way it go, even if you do trade him, which is honest, you're not going to get a player of Giannis caliber back, and you might not be as good as you was with Giannis, which means you might lose that too. But you rather get something than nothing. If he's going to leave and you can just trade him to the team he wants to go to, you get something back, but you still won't be the team you was before, most likely, because you lost the best player in the trade, and that's how you usually go. But other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that liked already. Not only that, check out my older videos. If you liked this video, you thought it was cool, I got over 1,000, almost 2,000 videos on my channel, and I upload every single day. They come from breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, and summer league breakdowns. I also do cover the NBA draft, season previews, top 10 lists, and also free agency, trade deadline, and everything you need about basketball. And if you don't believe me, the videos are there to show you what I bring to the table. You can also buy merchandise on my spread shirt. Everything is on there. Check that out if you feel free to. You can also buy merchandise on my Facebook page. I got shirts, hats on display. Whatever shirt you want, whatever color you want, whatever color you want the logo to be, you can change the color of the logo, you can change the color of the shirt, and message me, and I can get it shipped out to you. Also, like and share. If you like this video, you enjoyed it, like it, share it, reach more people, helps me out. I don't get paid, and there's a small thing you guys can do to support the channel because I'm not asking you guys to do anything else, and that's all your decision anyway. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone, and we'll see if Giannis will stay.